Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm out on another walk. Today I'm walking the Serpent Trail. There's a little sign here, the Serpent Trail it says. I'm in Fittleworth and I'm going to take a walk down this trail ahead of me. This may be a bit foolhardy, and the reason I say that is because we've had a lot of rain recently and the ground is incredibly muddy. As you can see, it's pretty churned up, particularly where vehicles have gone along. I have got my sturdy walking boots on, but I haven't got anything to change into. And this is one of those things that you ought to think about, and I didn't, when you go walking in the winter. The reason I wanted to walk today on the Serpent Trail is because A, I hadn't heard of it before, and yet I've probably stumbled across it without realising, and B, it is supposed to be a very, and I'm sure it is, a beautiful walk with lots of heathland and woods to go through. I stumbled across it the other day in Fittleworth, which is back that way, with the lovely Julia when we were filming a couple of exploration walks. And I thought, do you know what? This is something that's got to be investigated a little more. The walk itself, however, is, I think, 64 miles and runs from, let's get this right, Haslemere to Petersfield. However, it doesn't go in a direct line, and in fact it weaves all through the county of Sussex, very much like a serpent, like a snake, and hence its name. And it's because of this circle, this sort of wiggly route that goes across all these different bits of heathland that it is as long as it is. And naturally, I'm only going to do a short part of it for this short video. Just looking at this new hedge that's been planted along here, which looks very nice. It's going to eventually create some barrier between the path and the field on the other side. On my right, behind me here, is some woodland, and I notice a sign there saying this is working woodland, please respect the countryside, keep to the serpent path, which I think is very good. It's lovely to see it, and actually looking over there you can see that there's birch and I think hazel on the outer side, but it does look primarily birch. I don't know what else would be in there, being maybe some ash being coppiced. And also here there's another sign that says private land, no public access. And it's good to know where you can go and where you can't go, and I think that's very important, because there is certain access and right to roams in this country, but knowing exactly which is which, and that's where signposts are so incredibly useful. And one of the things I'm very interested in learning when you're on something like the Serpent Path or any path, how has it been signposted and labelled? Are you able to go without actually having to have a map? It's always good to have a map because you could get lost, especially at different times of the year. Perhaps if the path isn't utilised very often, then of course it's very handy because some of the paths may have been overgrown. But this being a particularly well publicised trail by the West Sussex County Council, then of course I'm expecting to see those signs everywhere. On we go with this hedge on my left and more woodland here on my right. Not sure what that is. It's either beech or I think it looks beech, birch and a little bit of oak. And on the last bit of this little stretch and coming up to some sort of community here. The path is actually diverted around these houses. Now, we go this way according to the map. There's a well here, or what was a well. And you get a signpost. I've come from there. You get a signpost and now, is it clear? But there's another one up ahead. Sometimes you need hawk eyes to see them, but the little flash of yellow here on the sign gives us an indication we're in the right space. Oh, here we go. Come to a very different section of the path here, just a little up from that well, and I'm now going through a different wood. And some of these trees, if I come over here, for example, this tree here, and many of them, is chestnut. They're quite young chestnut because they've been coppiced and they've got very smooth skin. Very much like beech trees have got a very smooth skin, but you can tell from the leaves that I've been picking up. Here we go. There's a chestnut leaf, very typical chestnut. But not only chestnut is here, some of the bigger trees over here. If you can see, that might be just off the camera. That's oak, and we know that because there's lots of oak leaves here. Little small chestnut one. Yeah, beautiful oak. Now, coming up to two potential pathways, and this is where you can easily make a mistake, but we're going to just keep an eye on this sign, which is telling us it's up this way. Off we go. This is amazing. Walking through this tunnel of coppiced chestnut. It's absolutely beautiful. And look here, come down here, we can see the coppicing, this old stool where for generations, not only of people but of trees, have had the new growth grown, and the trees are there above. And if proof were needed that it was chestnut, here's the the prickly husk that goes around it. It's lovely. We'll crack on, go a little bit further. Well, this is only part one of my little investigation onto the Serpent Trail. I'm clearly going to have to come back and do quite a lot more, but there will be a second video. I'm going to make another one on this walk, so join me again for that one on part 2. Until then, from this remarkable countryside in West Sussex near Fittleworth, thanks for watching and goodbye.